Welcome to the 10 Minutes Day Maths 2nd of August. So, hopefully you did really well yesterday. Today we've got 6 more questions for you. If you haven't done the worksheet yet, just pause the video now, put a 10-minute timer on, and then come back for us to go through the answers. So, if you've unpaused, let's have a look. So, question number 1, fluency. Y equals 3x plus 3. What is the value of y when x equals 2? So this is substitution. So what we do here, you write your equation, and we're going to substitute the number 2 where x is. Okay, so this number is now going to be 2. So x is now 2. Now, when you have a number next to a letter, you have to multiply. So I'm going to rewrite it out. So it becomes y equals 3 times 2. I'm going to put that in brackets because I have to do that. Plus 3. Okay, so y equals 3 times 2, which is 6, plus 3. Now 6 plus 3 is 9, so y equals 9. Okay, so this was substitution. So your first answer is y equals 9. Let's have a look at the next one. So simplify the ratio 4 to 10. Now, I always think ratio is very similar to fractions, because whatever you do to one side of ratio, you need to do the same to the other, okay? So what we've got to do here, if we're simplifying it means we're putting it in its smallest possible ratio. Now, that means we need to find a factor, and it has to be the highest common factor that goes into 4 and 10. And in this case, the highest common factor is 2. So we're going to divide each side by 2. So 4 divided by 2 is 2. 10 divided by 2 is 5. Now, it's always a good chance to ask yourself, is there another number, another factor that goes both into 2 and 5? The highest common factor of 2 and 5 is 1, which means we've simplified it as far as we go. So our answer here is 2 to 5. Right, let's have a look at number 3. What is the missing angle below? So firstly, you need to remember angles on a straight line. Oh, I can spell today. Angles on a straight line equal 180 degrees. So if we're calculating the missing angle, this is just a subtraction. So we're going to do 180 take away 127. So 0 take away 7 you cannot do, so we will need to exchange. 10 take away 7 is 3, 7 take away 2 is 5, 1 take away 1 is 0. So x equals 53 degrees. Okay, so that's the answer there. All right, let's have a look at the next one. So Jake shares £120 between himself and his 2 friends in the ratio 2 to 3 to 5. How much does each person receive? Now, I'm a person who always loves to draw out sharing ratio. So we've got Jake, and Jake gets 2 parts of the ratio. Then his 2 friends, let's call them friend 1 and friend 2. Okay, so friend 1 gets 3, and then we've got 5. Okay, so Jake, friend 1 and friend 2. Now, with ratio and we're sharing, step 1 is we need to add all the parts together. Well, we can see there we've got 10 parts, so that's 10 parts altogether. Okay, now, then we're going to divide the amount by the parts. So that's £120 divided by 10. That gives you 12. And now we're going to put the 12 into each of these boxes. Okay, so then our final step is multiply the amount by the boxes. So if we look here, this is 12 times 2, which is 24. This is 12 times 3, which is 36. And this is 12 times 5, which is 60. So that means the ratio part is 24 to 36 to 60. And that's how you would write it out. So you put your ratio amounts and the pound sign with it as well. Okay, so kind of steps there to help you. Right, let's have a look at the next one. Problem solving. A car travels 240 kilometers in 3 hours. What is its average speed? So this is that wonderful speed, distance, time triangle. So your distance at the top and then speed and time. Now with this formula, this line here means divide. And then if we have a look, this line here, that's red, is times. Okay, so I'm going to start by substituting the values that I have in the question into my triangle. Now I've got the distance, which is 240 kilometers, and I've got the time, which is 3 hours. But I don't have the speed, so I'm missing that one because I'm trying to solve it. Okay, so I don't have this one. I'm trying to solve it. Now remember, this line means divide. So that means I'm going to do 240 divided by 3. Okay, now I can use my knowledge to work this out. Well, I know 3 goes into 24 8 times. And 240 is 10 times bigger than 24, which means my answer is going to be 80. That means he was going 80 kilometers per hour. Okay, but how else could you solve that if you're not too sure about using your times tables? You could just do bus stop method. Okay, and you can go, well, 3 doesn't go into 2, 3 goes into 24. Well, if you're not sure, again, you can use your 3 times table, write it out. You end up with the 8, and then 3 into 0 goes 0. And it gives you the same answer. So his speed is 80 kilometers per hour. Okay, let's have a look at the last one. This one, factorize, okay? So factorize means put into brackets. Now, I look at this question and some of you might think, oh, it's going to be single bracket. Oh, is it going to be a double bracket? Well, in this case, it's actually going to be a double bracket because we're going to be using difference of 2 squares. Okay, so how do I know it's going to be difference of 2 squares? Well, what I've got here, I've got 2 squares. I've got x squared, okay, but this minus 16, well, minus 16, well, 16 is a square number. So I'm going to rewrite it out just so I can see it. So I've got x squared minus 16, and I'm going to rewrite it so I've got 2 squared numbers, which becomes x squared minus 4 squared. So because 4 times 4 is 16. So now I can see I've got that the same. Right, perfect. I now know that I'm going to have double brackets. So I'm going to have 2 sets of brackets here. I'm going to have an x in one bracket and an x in the other. Now, in order for me to get to a minus number, okay, I need to have a plus in one bracket and a minus in one bracket, okay? And as I said here, it was the difference of 2 squares. So I'm going to have a plus 4 and a minus 4, okay? And if I wanted to double check that I was getting back to my original answer, well, I can do x times x, which is x squared. X times minus 4 is minus 4x. 4 times x is plus 4x. And 4 times minus 4 is minus 16. Now, if I collect my like terms, well, minus 4 add 4 is 0, so it cancels it out. So I'm then left with x squared minus 16. Okay, so my answer here, I've got double brackets, and I've got x plus 4 and x minus 4. Okay, now the difference of 2 squares will only work if your squared number has a minus by it. It won't work if it's a positive. So if I give you another example just to quickly practice, if we had x squared minus 36, well, I know that because it says minus 36, I'm going to be doing difference of 2 squares. I know that 36 is a squared number. The number that multiplies together to make 36 is 6. So I'd have my 2 brackets. I'd have x plus 6 and x minus 6. Okay, remember, only works with a negative number. So that's a quick recap for you. Okay, so well done for today. Tune back in tomorrow for more 10-minute a day maths.